Round function in Excel will generate a new random number greater than or equal to 0 and less than 1 each time your sheet is refreshed. Let's look at some examples. Right here, we have a lot of examples here, but we'll start from this first one, which is actually the major way round function has been applied. So for us to do this, the first thing we need to do is to put in our insert function, which is the equals to sign. Rand, then close the bracket. And once that's done, you click on your enter key. And here we have a value here, which is not greater than 1, but is greater than 0 or less than 1. So anytime you refresh your sheet, this changes for you. So we're looking at some other examples of how we can actually use the round function to get numbers that are greater than 0, greater than 1, and to any desired numbers we want it to be. So these are various examples that we have here. But take note, in some of the examples we'll be doing here, they are going to appear as a float, which is like in decimal places. So let's look at this second example that we have here. So we have the round, we close the bracket. So here we want to do is that we want to get random numbers from 1 to 10. So what we need to do is to multiply whatever result we get here by 10, and we close the bracket. Once we click on enter, here we have it. We have a random number here, which is greater than 1. So let's try from 1 to 100. So the same process, equals to round, close the bracket, multiply by 100. So let's look at this other example, which we're going to use the trunc function. So the trunc function helps us to trim our value to an integer. Okay, so first of all, we need to put in the trunc, open parenthesis, then the rand function, open parenthesis for it, close the parenthesis. Then we multiply it by 10. Okay, so we haven't closed the bracket of this trunc, so we have to close it. So what's going to happen here is that this is going to run first. We're already familiar with this process. Once this is done, then the trunc does its work by trimming it to integer. So here we want to get values from 1 to 10 in integers and not in decimal places. And here we have it as an example. So take note of these previous ones we've done. While we're doing some work, it's also changing. So any activity we do and it refreshes, this also changes along with it. Then we have this other example which we're going to include, which is the round function. So the round function is used to convert to round our numbers into any desired decimal places that we want. Okay, but what we have here is to round it up to 2 decimal places. So that's what we're going to do. So first of all, the equals to round, then the round function, multiply by 100 minus 1. So this is a different process. Okay, so it's still the same thing. 100 minus 1 will give us 99. Then we're going to add it by 1. So then The next thing for us to do is to put in our number digits, how many decimal places you want to put. So we want to put it in 2 decimal places. Okay, then close the bracket. Okay, so what's going to happen here is that this is going to run first. Then after that, then this next step, which is to place it into decimal. So let's run this. And here we have it. So we have a random number from 1 to 100 and is in 2 decimal places. Then the last but not the least, so we don't want our result to be in float, in decimal places like this. We want it to appear as an integer for us. So for us to do that, there's a function which is int, which stands for integer. So it rounds a number down to the nearest integer. So we put in our round, then we close it, then we multiply it by 100, then we close parentheses here. So this is the first thing that is being done. Then whatever result we get here is going to be round down to integer. So let's do this. We click on our enter, and here we have it. So that is that about the rand function. The next function we're going to be looking at is the RandBetween. So the RandBetween generates random numbers between 2. It's a volatile function and it keeps changing when changes occur in the worksheet. Okay, so here we have an example of athlete's name, the number of gold, number of silver, number of bronze, and we want to calculate the total medals. So here is empty, so we just want to create random numbers in here. Okay, so we're going to use random numbers from 1 to 10. So we want Excel to provide us just random numbers of gold, silver, and bronze for each of these athletes. Okay, so for us to do that, we're going to use the RandBetween. So in the RandBetween, we have 2 syntax in here. So we have the bottom and the top. The bottom and the top. So the bottom is going to be the lowest number there, which is 1, and the top is going to be 10. So we want it to provide us numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so once we close the bracket or parenthesis, we click on the enter, and here we have it, 9. Okay, so I'm going to do this again for this equals to RandBetween 1, 2, comma, then 10. We close parenthesis, then enter, and here we have it. So you can see that as I'm working on this particular sheet and I click on enter, the sheet is being refreshed and the previous work I've done also changes along with it. Okay, so I'm going to autofill this. So I'm going to just drag this down here, and here we have it. So for me to fill this order athletes, so I'm just going to alight on this, just drag this down, and here we have it. Okay, the total medals is going to be equals to sum. Then I'm just going to alight on this and close parenthesis. So it's going to give us the sum of all these medals received by each of these athletes. Yeah, so it's going to be changing. So I'm just going to autofill this too. Here we have it. Okay, so this is all about the RandBetween. If you enjoyed this video, please kindly subscribe, like, comment, and click on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. Thank you very much for watching.